Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and welcome back to another edition of Quick Topics, the show where I discuss different movie-related topics from physical media, movie collecting to movies themselves. I've got 6 topics as always, so let's get to it. So, topic number 1, the first topic I want to discuss is 4K movies I would like to see released in 2026. We're getting nearer to the end of 2025 now, so I thought let's think about movies I'd like to see get a 4K release for the first time ever next year in 2026. So I think, first of all, top of my list, there's a few movies, but I think top of the list would be Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes movie. I would love to see that get a 4K. I'm not even that bothered about the rest of the movies in that original run, but to see the original first movie in 4K would be pretty cool to get a really special release. I think it's a movie deserving of it, and hopefully it will happen at some point soon. Maybe next year is the one we get it for. Another a movie I really enjoy is The Rock. Nicolas Cage, Sean Connery. The Rock. I love that film. It is a superb, the Michael Bay directed movie, superb film. One of my favourites, definitely The Rock. I think it's a cracking movie. It's had a Blu-ray before, but I kind of like holding out because I think, you know what, maybe I'd treat myself to get a 4K on that one. I think that's one I'd like to appreciate in 4K. That's one for sure. I'd just like to see a new release of the remake of The Time Machine, whether it's a Blu-ray or a new 4K release. 4K preferably, because I really do enjoy that, the Guy Pearce one from the early 2000s. I think that's a really good movie. And Lethal Weapon. We've had Lethal Weapon, the first one on 4K. I'm kind of holding... I've not went and bought the 4K of it as of yet, because I'm kind of holding out in to see whether they kind of do what they did with Nightmare on Elm Street to release a collection of them. Because I think maybe I'd end up rather buy the whole set of 4 movies rather than just the individual ones. So I'm kind of holding out for that, and I'm hoping we get to see maybe in 2026 they announce the full collection of Lethal Weapon movies on 4K as well. I think that would be quite cool to see. So there's some of the ones I want, and I'm sure there will be more that pop up along the way, but they're the ones that I'm actively thinking of right now. So the new Superman movie has got two special covers for the 4K releases. The Steelbook, here in the UK, I think it's HMV releasing the Steelbook edition, which is a glow-in-the-dark edition. And then we have the standard 4K for it, which is a lenticular cover, which basically it goes... let me grab a lenticular cover if you're not aware of what a lenticular cover is. So, hey presto, I've got a cover here. This is the movie Looper, if you're watching the video version. Lenticular cover is basically, it moves like that. So the slip cover, and then it goes into like just a standard cover. That's what they're doing. So that's the 4K standard of the Superman. Now, I will say I wasn't a big fan of that movie. I thought it was a decent movie, but what I will say is I got pulled in by these covers. I think they look amazing. The glow in the dark where the crest of Superman's symbol glows up, I think is really epic. It's like the Fortress of Solitude, and then you've got the lenticular cover. But which one do you choose? And I'll be honest with you now, I don't know, I don't feel like it's fun. Well, I feel like it's, maybe it is a bit of fear of missing. I don't know, maybe it's fun. I think it's just, I'm just genuinely... I think it's for me. I think it's more, I genuinely like the artwork of both of them. I think they are both. It's rare because I do the podcast and I do look at different case covers. I collect movies myself. I don't always find that you get a case like this where you get 2 covers for a movie, 2 different box art or whatever you want to call it. That both genuinely look really cool. I think the lenticular cover is a really cool option. I love that it goes from Clark Kent to Superman, which I think is really good. And then you've got the glow-in-the-dark one with the Steelbook. The Steelbook here in the UK is sold out on HMV. I looked the other day, I put my email down to see if they have any extra come in, but it's obviously highly sought after that glow in the dark one, because I think it would look cool in the movie room. I think that's more for I'm thinking both of them covers would actually look really cool in the movie room as a display piece. Even though I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the movie. I'm not like this huge Superman fan. I thought it was a decent movie, but yeah, I am tempted to get one of those, and I'm leaning more to which one would I choose. I'm leaning towards the glow-in-the-dark Steelbook because I think there's something about that. Coming in and seeing it at night and seeing the glow-in-the-dark, you've got the movies on and you can see the crest. I think it would be quite cool. So that's the one I would choose if I do get round to picking it up. If it comes back in stock, that is. So, Tron Legacy is getting a 4K release, Steelbook and Standard. Personally, for me, I'm going to be going for the Standard release. I don't think either artwork is spectacular, if I'm being truly honest. And I think, you know what, I'm going to wait for the Standard. I will say this film is a film I do really enjoy, partly because of Daft Punk's amazing score for this movie, which is phenomenal, still holds up, it is fantastic. And I like science fiction, I love the visuals of the movie going into this digital world. I think it's a really fun movie to watch. I've always enjoyed Tron Legacy, so I'm looking forward to it, and it was kind of one that I had on my list of movies to get on 4K eventually when it gets a 4K release. I want to bring this up though, topic-wise today. Is this going to be another Good, the Bad and the Ugly Arrow Video limited edition scenario? And I'm talking more specifically about the Steelbook here, because I'm seeing it in America in a lot of subreddits, people saying it's going high price, it's going out of stock. Over here, it's not out of stock on Amazon. What I've looked, it has went up in price from Amazon directly, which is a bit weird. But is this going to be like the next one where, you know, Arrow Video's limited edition of Good, the Bad and the Ugly sold out? A lot of people found it really hard to get a hold of. And it was then, you know, astronomical, like the second-hand market, it was just going up sky-high prices. You know, people paying incredibly high prices for this on like likes of eBay and Amazon resells and stuff like that. I will say I didn't pick up the Amazon, the Arrow Video Good, the Bad and the Ugly. I had it pre-ordered initially. I just ended up skipping out. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for the standard edition. I'm more than happy with that. But it feels like this is going to be another scenario of that. And I'm just wondering, like I said, I'm going for the standard edition, but I'm thinking what creates this? Why is it certain releases just go out of stock incredibly fast and get a whole lot of hype around? Because for me, I really enjoy Tron Legacy, but for years I always thought that people didn't enjoy that movie, and it seems bizarre that that's the movie. Good, the bad, the Good, the Bad and the Ugly I can understand because it is such an iconic movie. But I always thought Tron Legacy was really a bit more niche, a bit more like it's had its own. It was a bit more cult like a dark city. You know, like maybe not a dark city, maybe that's the wrong choice. But I always thought it was very not like one of a beloved movie. So it really, it's racking my brains for me. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why is Tron Legacy the one where people are going crazy over it? I really don't know. Is it something like someone says something on one subreddit on Reddit or online, and then it just creates a little thing, and then people start buying it, and then there's a frenzy? What is it? It's absolutely crazy. I can understand if it was like a big. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a movie that would be kind of like I don't know, like what have Arrow done like this? Do you know, like if they did like a RoboCop? I know they released the Arrow Video RoboCop, and I don't know what that was like at the time when they released that a couple of years ago. But like a movie that is more iconic, because I don't think, as much as I love watching Tron Legacy, I don't really think of it so much as an iconic movie. Because it's not super old. It's not like an old movie. It's on 2010s, I'd say. It's bizarre. It baffles me. It really does. But yeah, I think people are gonna do it. It's gonna sell out most likely. It's gonna then online. It's gonna be selling for crazy prices. People are gonna do it. People can't stop people doing it. And if people are gonna buy the copies, they're gonna do it, aren't they? It's the way it goes. I do think it's absolutely crazy. I try and stay out of that sort of scenario where, I think it becomes, and that's where you get into that fear of missing out sort of mode, where you kind of like, I've got to buy this copy because everyone's buying it, it's selling out, everyone's talking about it, and it's so easy to get wrapped up in that and kind of get into that arena where you're like, I've got to buy it just because everyone else is buying it, and I'm like, I don't want to, I feel like, I think if you can step out of that, that's a really good mindset to take with these things. To kind of just say, you know what, I don't need to buy it just because everyone else is buying it. I'm going to buy it because I enjoy it or I'm not going to buy it. I'm happy with the standard edition. That's the way I'm going. I'm happy with the standard edition because, as I said, I don't think the artwork is great on either, and I'm not a big Steelbook guy, so I'm going for the standard edition. Let me know what you're picking up. What is the perfect movie length for me? Well, I will say perfect movie length for me, I would say nowadays is 2 hours max. Preferably like an hour and 45 minutes. That is like a perfect movie, an hour and 50. That does it for me. Really, purely because of the time. I finish work at night, I'll put a movie on, and I don't stay up super late, or I kind of like chilling down at a certain point. And for me, I need like full function on new movies that I watch. So an hour and a half to an hour and 45, an hour and 50, 2 hours max is kind of the ideal length for me for movies. If I'm going to invest my time in like a 3 hour movie or 3.5 hour movie, it's got to be more of an event movie, a big or something spectacular that I know I'm all in on. It's rare that I'm going to go out my way to watch a 3 hour movie on something I've never watched. I do it occasionally, but it really is going to be something like an Avengers movie or a Lord of the Rings, something like that. I know I've watched before, I'm going to enjoy, or something I've heard really great things about. I think as well for my concentration, I think 2 hours as well. I'm like by the end of that. I'm done. There's a few movies I do want to watch. There's what is it? It's the I can't even think. There's a movie at the moment. I'll try and think of the movie. It's a De Niro movie, and it's a gangster movie. I can't think of it. If I think of it, I will shout it out in a moment. And basically, it's about 3.5 hours long, and I think it's close to 4 hours, and I'm like, I do want to watch it, but the idea of sitting down sometimes to do that, and I think finding the time sometimes to sit down and just watch that movie, like that sort of length movie, is a bit of a long one sometimes, and it's hard to plan out. So yeah, 2 hours is tops for me nowadays for most movies, and that suits me down to the ground. The movie collecting slow game. What do I mean by this, and why do I enjoy it? What I mean by this is, taking my time with finding cheap deals on movies. If you know me, you know what I'm all about with the channel. I like finding good deals, cheap deals. I think that's all part of the slow game of movie collecting, finding cheap deals, appreciating what you have as well, appreciating the collection. I think sometimes you can look at the collection and you can be looking at new movies you want to buy, you want to collect, and sometimes I think it's always good to sit back and look at the collection and appreciate what you actually have and watch movies, because I think sometimes you get into that sort of that circle, that loop of just buying and buying and buying, collecting movies, and you don't actually watch them, and you end up, like, after the new ones you end up buying, you don't actually watch. So I prefer sometimes just sitting back, appreciating what I actually have, and being content sometimes, and appreciating that you got some great movies in the collection already, and you don't really need to go out and buy more and bring more in all the time. I think as well, it makes it as well, doing the slow game of movie collecting as well. I think it's important because it becomes if you do the long game, look at it like this. If you have 20 movies you want to go out and buy, and if you go and buy them straight away, you've got the money, fair enough, you go and buy them. You've got them all they're in a collection. You're going to get 20 more movies then, I guarantee, in the list that you want to fill up and get another 20 in. And then it's just more and more and more. I think it's more fun as a hobby, as a movie collector. I find, personally, if you do the slow game, I find it more fun. I get a lot more joy of waiting and, waiting a couple of months, waiting for a good deal, maybe waiting it out to get some movies over Christmas or your birthday. And I think it makes it a bit more fun then when you get the movies and you have waited a bit longer and you've played that slow game of getting the movie. And then when you put it on, I always find you do appreciate it a lot more. And it's that long game, the fun of the hobby as well, keeping it as a long hobby. I think if you start buying stuff all straight away, I think the hobby becomes less fun. I think it's more fun when you're waiting out for movies, you're looking for a good deal, and then you really do appreciate it when you've got a good deal or you've been waiting for a long time for a particular movie. I think it makes it more fun. And that's why I enjoy the slow game of movie collecting rather than the short, fast game of just getting every single movie you can when it's available. Has 2025 been a good year for physical movie releases? I think it has. I think it's actually been one of the better years in recent memory. I will say as well, for me, because I've really got it, I feel like I've got more into collecting physical media and movies even more this year, even though I've done it for years anyway. But we're getting into 4K and Blu-ray myself. It's given me a bit of a new spark and new interest in it as well. And it is, I've come into it this year, and I feel like all the movies that I've wanted to come out that were initially not out on 4K or Blu-ray, I've had a release or are getting releases soon. So you're looking at this year, the Dollars trilogy, Good, the Bad, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was one I was definitely looking forward to getting. I'm going to be picking up that, and it's great to see that Arrow have got a release, because I was looking initially, there was a 4K, but it was out of print here in the UK, and it was, it was harder to get. It was a higher price. So for that reason, it's great to see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles getting a 4K, the whole trilogy. I'm more bothered about the original movie, but again, it's getting a release later on this year, which is really cool to see in December. Roadhouse, fantastic movie again. Another one that I already had a 4K, was out of print over here. I could have paid a bit more for it, but I've waited. Arrow did the release, superb. Lethal Weapon again. Another movie, I'm going to be waiting for the collection of that to get on 4K, but it's a movie series I really enjoy. And it's so good to see it getting a 4K release. Horror fans, you got horror fans getting Nightmare on Elm Street, all them movies in one 4K collection. There's a variety of choices. All these boutique labels are releasing new movies every single day, it feels like at the moment. Arrow doing the monthly releases, announcing new movies. It's exciting. There's movies for everyone. And I don't think it's just like movies for one particular genre, which is the best thing about it. There's stuff for horror fans, fans of foreign films, fans of action movies, science fiction, whatever you like, whatever floats your boat, there's something out there for you in regards to these boutique labels. And even the big labels, the Warner Brothers and stuff like that, releasing stuff as well. I think it's very exciting as a fan, and I think 2025 has been a really great year for physical movie releases. And I feel like it was like movie fate. I've picked the best year to get in on the action in regards to collecting Blu-rays and 4Ks. It's really exciting personally. It makes the hobby more interesting for me. I get excited, like I've said before, I get excited when I hear like Arrow doing their announcements. I'm looking on the Instagram of Dawn of the Discs, which is a really cool page, seeing the releases of all these different labels. It's fun to see. I get excited, and yeah, it's a bit nerdy. Yeah, everyone's got the passions, haven't they? And it's I find it really fun, really interesting to obviously hear about these releases and then finally pick them up at the end of the day at some point. So I think 2025 is an excellent year, definitely. So that's it for another episode of Quick Topics. Let me know all your thoughts on these topics today, ladies and gents. What do you think? The Superman lenticular cover versus the glow in the dark. Which one will you be going for? 2026 4K movie releases, what do you want to see? And has 2025 been the best year in recent memory for physical media movie releases? Let me know all your thoughts. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.